Well, it seems like one Dwayne Johnson was absolutely right when he said this.
Things will never be the same because the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
But not the way he meant, because on Tuesday it was just announced that James Gunn and Peter Safran are now the co-CEOs of DC Studios. And that includes animation and TV shows. But right now, I just want to talk about the DC Extended Universe, or the newly acquired name, just the DCU. Because over the past few years, I think that we can all agree that this shared universe have been very, very divisive. And with the new head or heads of the table at DC, I think it's time for them to make just a few changes. Now, just before I get started, I just want to make two things very clear. One, I'm not talking about all the DC movies in general. The Batman and Joker can stay over there on an island by themselves. Actually, I felt like the Batman was the best Batman that I've seen since The Dark Knight. And two, I'm not attacking DC. I just feel like in order for them to move forward, they have to address some of the major issues that they're having right now. So with that being said, hello, my name is Jermaine. Welcome to Maine's Movie Thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And this is 3 things that the new CEOs of the DCU need to change. Number 1, properly introducing characters. Remember in Batman vs Superman, when they literally introduced half of the Justice League via montage on a computer screen? And at the time, I was thinking, that's a little rushed and lazy, but all right. And then they just threw them all together in the Justice League without anybody getting a solo movie or character development. And the little character development that they had, they cut it out of the theatrical release of the movie. It's like the studio heads at the time were just like, hey, here's some recognizable names. Here you go. And we know why they did it. They did it to keep pace with the MCU. And if they said or deny anything otherwise, they're obviously lying. And if that was a one-off, that would be fine. But then they turned around and did the same exact thing in Black Adam when they introduced the JSA. Now look, the JSA was one of my favorite parts of the movie, but they literally gave them the Suicide Squad treatment. Amanda Waller popped up on the screen talking to Hawkman, who we didn't even know at the time, and said, hey, who you got? And he runs down some characters that we don't even know. And that type of thing can work for the Suicide Squad because we know we're not meant to really care about half of them, and most of them aren't even gonna make it to the end of the movie. But when you're asking your audience to care about some characters who we don't even know and they don't really have any depth to them, why should we care? And when you do that, when you rush characters like that, you miss out on adding additional fans to the property. And like I said, Hawkman didn't even get an introduction. He was one of the best parts of the movie. Number 2, have a plan and stick to it. Okay, spoilers for Black Adam. But Henry Cavill came back as Superman in the post-credit scene. As excited as I was to see him back, because I actually love him as Superman, by now we all know that that wasn't the initial plan. And by all accounts, he was done playing the character until The Rock went up to the higher ups at Warner Brothers and convinced them to bring him back for the role. And now there's a Man of Steel 2 in development. And the same thing goes for Ben Affleck. I'm pretty sure that his iteration of The Dark Knight was over after Justice League until Jason Momoa convinced him to make a cameo in the upcoming Aquaman sequel. Here's the thing, these movies and sequels, they sound great, but if that wasn't the initial plan, what are the long-term plans for the franchise? I mean, are we gonna get another Justice League movie? Are we gonna get a JSA movie? Or are these characters just gonna be popping in and out of each other's movies? These are the things that, as the new CEOs, that they need to start planning. They just need to be able to sit down, make a roadmap, and don't get me wrong, you don't have to, continue straight. You can veer off or swerve a little bit, but this fan base deserves something something to get excited about. And when you announce something, when you announce a long-term plan and you stick to that, that excitement for the hardcore fans trickles down to the casual fans, and boom, you've opened up a whole new audience. And number 3, fix the villain problem. Do I have to say it? Do I have to say it? Do I have to say it? But yes, I feel like the DC Universe's biggest problem right now is they have a huge villain problem. And I'm not just talking about the final bosses at the end of these movies. But this franchise took 2 of the most beloved villains in DC not DC Comics, but just in comics history, and they messed them up pretty badly.
Really bad.
And that mostly follows all of the DC Universe's movies. The movies can be very solid. I enjoyed Batman vs Superman up until the final act. Wonder Woman, a really good movie up until the final act. But this isn't exclusive to the DC Universe either, because that was one of Marvel's biggest complaints. It was a villain complaint. Nobody liked them, nobody cared for them, and they were just there for filler. And especially after phase 1 and even phase 2, it forced Marvel to take a step back and address the villain issue, and I feel like they've gotten a lot better. In my opinion, I really feel like DC's villain rogues gallery is a million times better than any other rogues gallery. So my thing is, get rid of the big CGI monsters and start actually developing these villains, because you can do it in one movie. You don't have to give them a several movie arc, but actually develop them, let them have chemistry with the hero, and then take it from there. I gotta tell you, I know I complained a lot, but I'm super pumped to see what the future of the DCU holds. It seems like a lot of studios are trying to find their Kevin Feige, trying to find someone to oversee all of these big projects with a singular vision. And I know James Gunn and his work, I don't really know much about Peter Safran, but just to see their vision coming up on the big screen, I'm excited about it, and everybody else should be too. The thing that I just hope they do is have a singular focus, don't try and compete with Marvel, and then pump out some really great stuff. Alright guys, what do you guys think about the new co-CEOs of the DCU? Comment below, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.